Hey, ma'am. Okay, let me sign them in just a minute. Mr. Sergeant at Arms, will you please call our October 10th, 2023 Memphis City Council meeting to order? I would like to recognize our chaplain of the day. Reverend Kelsey Johnson, Executive Director of the Hospitality Hub, has been invited by Councilman Jeff Warren. Reverend Johnson, will you please lead us in prayer?
Let's pray together. Gracious God, we're so thankful for this, the opportunity to be here in this space, occupying this place, prepared to make those plans that are going to help our city be better, be stronger. We thank you for the leadership you've given us. We thank you for our new mayor. We thank you for new ideas, innovations. We thank you for hope. We are hopeful today. Scripture tells us that where hope is deferred, the heart becomes sick. And Lord, we want our city to be well. We thank you for these who stand bravely at the tip of the spear, ready to lead, guide, direct this city. We pray that your hand be upon them, to continue to give them discernment and be a blessing to them. We thank you for all you do, all you've done, and all that you're gonna do through this body. In Jesus' name we pray. Thank God and amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Councilman Warren.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I don't know how many people realize how much work Kelsey has done to help our least fortunate people here in our city, but I think it is an honor for us to have him here today giving our benediction. And I would like to thank him again for everything he's done for our city and also for being my friend. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Madam Comptroller, will you please call the roll?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Council members Canali, Carlisle, Colvette, Easter Thomas, Ford, Johnson, Logan, Morgan, Robinson, Vice Chairman Smiley, Swearingen Washington, Warren, Chairman Jones.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum.
Thank you. I believe that Councilwoman Swearingen Washington has read our minutes from the previous meeting.
Yes, sir. I have reviewed the minutes and find them to be in order. I move for the adoption of the September 26th meeting minutes.
Will you do so electronically, please? Okay, council members, the motion has been made by Swearingen Washington, seconded by Councilman Carlisle. Madam Comptroller, will you please prepare the voting screens for our minutes? Thank you. Where's the screen?
Carlisle, yes. Colbert, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Johnson, yes. Morgan, yes. Robinson, yes. Vice Chairman Smiley, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Jones, yes.
That item passes. Welcome to the October 10th regular meeting of the Memphis City Council. Meetings of the council shall be conducted in an orderly manner to ensure that the public has the full opportunity to be heard and the deliberative process of the council is retained at all times. The Sergeant at Arms has meeting agendas available up front, as well as comment request cards for members of the public wishing to be heard on a specific item. All those wishing to speak on an item must turn in their comment card to the Sergeant at Arms before that item is called. If you're not here to speak on a specific item, you can note your request to give general comments at the end of the meeting. As chair, I will only recognize citizens that properly registered to speak by submitting a completed comment card to the Sergeant at Arms. Members of the audience and persons addressing the council will not be permitted to engage in gossip, make defamatory, personal, slanderous, or profane comments, or use abusive or vulgar language. The chairperson of the council may maintain order by giving any persons who are in violation of the stated rules of decorum a warning to cease any violative conduct in order to leave the council's chamber, or by giving an order for security personnel to remove any disruptive person in the council's chambers who refuses to leave voluntarily. Madam Comptroller, item number 20 has been withdrawn. Items 7 and 19 will be held until our October 24th meeting.
Mr. Chairman, can you give me those numbers?
Yes.
One more time.
20 has been withdrawn. 7 and 19 will be held until October 24th.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I would like to take a point of personal privilege to congratulate our mayor-elect, Mr. Paul Young, on a successful mayoral campaign. And I also would like to congratulate those of my colleagues up here who will be returning to serve the members, to serve the city of Memphis and its residents. So congratulations to you all. Madam Comptroller, will you please call item number 1? Oh, before you do, we do have a couple of the newly elected council persons elect here in the audience. So Ms. Janika White, I know she was here earlier. And Ms. Cooper Sutton. Okay, they were here earlier during the committee meeting, but, right, so still want to take an opportunity to congratulate them. Okay. Madam Comptroller, item number 1, please.
Item number 1 is a resolution commemorating September 15th to October 15th as Hispanic Heritage Month. This resolution commemorating September 15th to October 15th as Hispanic Heritage Month. This resolution is sponsored by the Memphis City Council.
Councilwoman Easter Thomas.
Good afternoon, colleagues in the city of Memphis. As you all may know, September 15th or October 15th is recognized nationally as Hispanic Heritage Month, and it would do us not great justice if we did not take a moment to make sure that we acknowledge what this time in this season means to the city of Memphis and our overall culture. So I will read this into the record. Whereas when worthy circumstances arise, the Memphis City Council has seen fit to honor and commemorate great citizens and organizations of this community for their contributions. We draw great strength and beauty from our immigrant communities, and this month, we pay respect and admiration to the Hispanic community by recognizing Hispanic Heritage Month. Nationally celebrated from September 15th to October 15th of each year, Hispanic Heritage Month recognizes the expansive achievements and contributions as well as the histories and cultures of American citizens whose ancestors were from Mexico, the Caribbean, Central and South America. The day of September 15th is significant because it is the anniversary of the independence for Latin American countries Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua. Shortly thereafter, Mexico and Chile celebrate their Independence Days on September 16th and 18th, respectively. Now, with a Hispanic population of over 60 million in the United States and over 65,000 with Hispanic backgrounds in Shelby County, we recognize the many cultural, social, political, artistic, and culinary contributions Hispanic communities have made as we see the influences in every aspect of our daily lives. So in celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month, the Memphis City Council would like to use a platform to highlight the work of 4 organizations within our city that promote the culture of the Hispanic community. These organizations are reflective of the integral part of the Hispanic community and its culture play in the city of Memphis. The council, alongside the people of Memphis, honors Botron Media, a media corporation founded in 1999 that prides itself on being made by Mexicans and for Hispanics. It was a pioneer for Mexican ownership in mass media and radio. Memphis Noticias, a local news organization founded in 2017 that has been a vital source of reliable local news written in Spanish for the immigrant community. The publication prioritizes subjects such as immigration, local politics, crime, and also serves as a community platform, fostering connections and giving a voice to those who might not otherwise go heard. Casa Teatro, bilingual theater group, a multicultural bilingual theater group that presents an array of unique experiences from vibrant cultural events such as Afro-Latino Week, Latin Fest 901, Dia de los Muertos, and Christmas Fiesta, to enriching programs like bilingual theater productions, community workshops, and virtual programming. And last but certainly not least, the Memphis International Flea Market, which provides vendor space to local entrepreneurs in a 60-acre facility located in North Memphis. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Memphis City Council recognizes September 15th to October 15th as Hispanic Heritage Month and joins the nation in celebrating the many achievements and contributions of the Hispanic community. Given by my hand and under the great seal of the city of Memphis on this 10th day of October 2023, Councilwoman Michael Easter Thomas, District 7, and with that, Chair, I so move.
Good afternoon, and thank you. I am Melissa Valdez, Managing Partner at Memphis Noticias, and this is Founder and Editor-in-Chief Manuel Duran. We are honored to stand before you today.
Recibir este reconocimiento durante el mes de la herencia hispana es un enorme privilegio y queremos extender nuestra sincera gratitud a cada uno de ustedes.
Receiving this recognition during Hispanic Heritage Month is an enormous privilege, and we would like to extend our sincere gratitude to each of you.
Su reconocimiento valida la importancia de nuestro trabajo para representar y servir a la comunidad acá en Memphis.
Your acknowledgement validates the importance of our work in representing and serving the Hispanic community in Memphis.
Estamos comprometidos a continuar con nuestra misión de informar, además de empoderar a nuestra comunidad, y llevaremos este reconocimiento con gran orgullo y, desde luego, a medida que vayamos avanzando.
We are committed to continue our mission of informing and empowering our community and serving, and we will carry this recognition with great pride as we move forward. Thank you again for this honor and your ongoing support.
Gracias. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Comptroller, will you please show that this has been approved by acclamation?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Madam Comptroller, will you please call item number 2?
Item number 2 is a resolution acknowledging the pro bono legal work of the Access Justice Committee and declaring October as Pro Bono Month. This resolution is sponsored by Councilwoman Easter Thomas.
Councilwoman Easter Thomas.
So not done yet, colleagues. We got a lot of great things in October.
Oh, we know.
So, colleagues, when worthy circumstances arise, a member of the Memphis City Council will seek to honor and recognize organizations in the community that serve, and the Memphis Bar Association's Access Justice Committee is one such organization that is certainly worthy of recognition. The Access Justice Committee has consistently demonstrated an unwavering commitment to providing free legal services to those in need within our community. The Access Justice Committee, comprised of dedicated legal professionals, has contributed countless hours of pro bono legal work, making access to justice a reality for vulnerable and underserved individuals and organizations. October presents an opportunity to raise awareness about the critical role of pro bono legal services in ensuring equal access to justice for all members of our community. Recognizing Pro Bono Month during October aligns with our national efforts to promote and celebrate this work, highlighting its significance in addressing legal disparities. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the Memphis City Council hereby acknowledges and expresses its profound appreciation to the Memphis Bar Association's Access Justice Committee for their outstanding pro bono legal work. October is officially declared Pro Bono Month within the city of Memphis, Tennessee, recognizing the vital contributions of free, pro bono legal professionals and organizations. And we encourage all legal professionals, law firms, and community orgs to participate in Pro Bono Month activities, including offering pro bono legal services, organizing legal education events, and raising awareness about the importance of equal access to justice. Be it further resolved, we call upon individuals, organizations, and institutions to join us in celebrating Pro Bono Month and supporting efforts to ensure justice for all. Given by my hand under the great seal of the city of Memphis, it's 10th day of October, 2023. Michael Easter Thomas, Memphis City Council, and with that, Chair, I so move.
Hi. Well, I also say thank you first. Thank you so much for partnering with us. My first introduction into pro bono work was actually my first job as a lawyer. So I identify as a pro bono attorney no matter where I am. I think everyone deserves equal access to legal services regardless of what they make. So to see community leaders actually care about what I care about and helping people, that makes my heart smile. So thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Well, I would just like to commend you, Ms. Sink, as well as you, Ms. Brown, because, colleagues, we've gotten to know the two of these attorneys quite a bit in their interactions that we've had with you, and to know that on top of the regular duties that you have fulfilled for the city and currently MLGW for you, Ms. Sink, the time that you've taken to dedicate to this, it's greatly appreciated in our community, and I commend you both. And Madam Comptroller, will you please show that this item has been approved by acclamation?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Madam Comptroller, will you please call item 3?
Item number 3 is a resolution approving an honorary street name change on 317 Tillman Street between Mimosa Avenue and Yale Avenue for Walter Cleveland Casey Sr., Director of Leicester Community Center. This resolution is sponsored by Councilman Morgan.
Councilman Morgan.
Colleagues, it is my greatest pleasure to honor Mr. Casey today, and he doesn't know this was going to happen. This is a surprise. So, often down here at City Council, we talk about the problems that we're facing in the city of Memphis and the solutions that we're pursuing in order to address those problems. And for all the problems that we can talk about and think and see and experience in the city of Memphis, there are great people that are on the streets, in the community, doing the good work every day. And Walter Casey has been one of those individuals for 55 years in his service to the city of Memphis. 43 years. Yeah. 43 years as the director of the Leicester Community Center. Even you can come on up. It's okay to stand in the spotlight. That's okay. It is no stretch of the definition of word to call him a hero. And rather than one, singular act of courage that we typically associate with that word, he has lived a life and a dedicated career of diligence and service and patience and kindness every day in the Binghamton community for the last 43 years. So without further ado, the Memphis City Resolution, whereas when worthy circumstances arise, the Memphis City Council has seen fit to name certain public roads to honor citizens who have served this community. The life, legacy, and contributions of Walter Cleveland Casey Sr. are certainly worth recognition. And whereas a native Memphian of widespread acclaim, Walter Cleveland Casey Sr. began his journey of success when he graduated from Leicester High School in 1969. He later earned a Bachelor of Arts degree in Health and Physical Education from Tennessee State University in Nashville, Tennessee in 1973, and in 1977 earned a master's degree in education from what was then Memphis State University. And whereas Walter Cleveland Casey Sr. began his career with Memphis Parks, then called Memphis Park Commission in 1968, working as a lifeguard and water safety instructor at Pine Hill Swimming Pool until 1973, he went on to work as assistant director at Hanley Community Center and Dave Wells Community Center, and later as assistant director at Douglas Community Center until under the late Milton Thomas. And whereas Walter Cleveland Casey Sr. became director of Leicester Community Center in January 1980 and continues to serve in that position, making him the only director the center has had for the last 43 years. And whereas Mrs. Alice Davis, the right hand of Walter Cleveland Casey Sr., wave your hand, Alice. Yeah, you deserve a lot of credit as well. Well, and has worked 43 years with Mr. Casey at Lester Center and volunteered 3 years together at Douglas Center. They have worked together for 46 years. And whereas Walter Cleveland Casey Sr. had perfect attendance for 42 straight years until he was forced to have a knee replacement surgery and not wishing to break his perfect attendance record in October 2023, Mr. Casey will have put in 50 years of full-time service with the City of Memphis Division of Parks, with 5 years part-time service for a total of 55 years with the city. And whereas throughout his tenure with the city, Walter Cleveland Casey Sr. has earned numerous awards and accolades in recognition of his hard work and dedicated service, including 3 City of Memphis Ovation Awards, 2 Exceptional Service Performance to the City of Memphis recognitions, and the President of the United States Volunteer Service Award. And whereas Walter Casey is described as a staple in the Binghamton community, where his expertise, opinion, and assistance are liberally sought by the community members, it is undeniable he is a voice for the Binghamton community who will use his legacy as a model of what it means to work hard and diligently to serve others. Whereas outside his professional reputation, Walter Cleveland Casey Sr. is also known for his commitment to his family. Walter Cleveland Casey Sr. is married to his wife of 33 years, Dawn Mitchell Casey, and they have one son, Walter Cleveland Casey Jr. Miss Casey describes her husband as a great and kind person to anyone who meets and knows him. And whereas the Memphis City Council wishes to honor Walter Cleveland Casey Sr. for his devotion to duty, and the City of Memphis encourages all Memphians to do the same, now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of Memphis, Tennessee, that Tillman Street between Mimosa and Yale Avenue shall be designated and always remembered as Walter Cleveland Casey Sr. Street. Be it further resolved that the city engineer has requested to fix suitable signs to designate such public road, given by my hand and under the great seal of the City of Memphis, this day, the 10th of October, 2023, Worth Morgan, Memphis City Council, District 5. I so move.
I've noticed that my family and my supervisor who's here have kind of avoided me for the last 3 or 4 weeks. I didn't understand why, but it's very difficult when you're surprised like this. I travel this street every day. Now I'm gonna have a hard time traveling this street, trying to observe the traffic, because I'm gonna wanna look up to see my name on the street. So it's gonna be very, very difficult. I may have to find another route to Lester Community Center. Without further ado, I've got to say something about this resolution. I'm very, very proud of it. I will treasure this resolution for the rest of my life. And I want to thank Alice Janita Davis, Charles Fong, my wife, Dawn Michelle Casey, and my son, Walter Cleveland Casey Jr., for the rest of my life. So thank you, and thank you. And all of those are here today. Could I get them to come down and stand here with me? Yeah, reach out to me.
Madam Comptroller, will you please show that that item has been approved by acclamation?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Madam Comptroller, will you please call item 4?
Item number 4 is a resolution approving an honorary street name change on Mississippi Boulevard between East Georgia Avenue and East E.H. Crump Boulevard for Nat D. Williams, visionary trailblazer in the music and radio industry. This resolution is sponsored by Councilwoman Johnson.
Councilwoman Johnson.
Will the family of Nat D. Williams come forward? You know, oftentimes we may have a tendency to forget those who actually laid the foundation for where we are right now. And Mr. Nat D. Williams was one of those great legendary individuals. And it is an honor for the City Council to be able to give this honorary street name in his honor. But the resolution reads, whereas on occasion, the Memphis City Council has seen fit to honor citizens who have enriched this community. And as a Memphis music legend, Nat D. Williams is one of such citizens whose memory is certainly worthy of honoring and celebrating. Whereas born on historic Beale Street, Nat D. Williams was drawn to Beale Street's vibrant atmosphere as it served as a sanctuary from racism where African Americans' culture could flourish. After earning his bachelor and master's degree from the Tennessee State University in Nashville, he returned to Memphis, and in 1930, he accepted a teaching position at the legendary Booker T. Washington High School, bringing history and social studies to life. Not only did he foster academic growth, but he also nurtured the school extracurricular landscape by editing the school paper, mentoring the pep squad, and contributing to senior speeches, and for over 4 decades he worked there. His legacy included a stream of students who would go on to serve in the state legislation. Amongst them would be Judge Benjamin Hooks, who ascended to the national chairman of the NAACP. And whereas championing the cause to increase Booker T. Washington High School funding, Nat D. Williams revitalized the talent show, transforming it into Booker T. Washington Ballet. This once modest fundraising blossomed into a star-studded production. Under his guidance, the program evolved from ballet origins to include song, comedy, and tap routines. The show not only enriched the school funds, but also boosted enrollment. He also facilitated a seamless transition to higher education by solidifying a 4th year of high school. And whereas from 1938 to 1960, Nat D. Williams was the host of the renowned Beale Street Amateur Night at the Palace Theater, featuring stars such as Rufus Thomas, B.B. King, Bobby Blue Bland, and Elvis Presley, and a collection of other stars. He fostered their rise to fame on Memphis record labels, notably Sun Records, High Records, and Stax Records. In 1948, a pivotal moment in WDIA radio station history, he and his resounding laughter and charisma and personality resonated across the airways by appealing to African American listeners as the first African American disc jockey on the station. His inaugural broadcast of Tan Town Jubilee marked a turning point as he spearheaded a groundbreaking endeavor as WDIA assembled an entire cast of Black disc jockeys, marking a historic milestone in American radio history. And whereas in 1951, Nat D. Williams was selected as the inaugural city editor by the newly founded African American newspaper in Memphis, the Tri-State Defender. His journey in journalism began in 1931 when he started writing for the Memphis World and an African American publication, and continued with contribution to the Chicago Defender in 1937. He established himself as a syndicate columnist with Down on Bill in 1931, which ran for 25 years. One of his columns was entered into the Congressional Record on June 1st, 1955. And whereas Nat D. Williams was a public writer, a dedicated educator, an engaging MC, and a visionary promoter, Moreover, he was a loving husband to Lucille Butler Williams and a devoted father. His legendary testament to his extraordinary intellect, incomparable talents, boundless energy, his merge as a true Renaissance man. He merged as a true Renaissance man. A strong force and enduring voice for the city of Memphis. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Memphis City Council that Mississippi Boulevard between East Georgia Avenue and East E.H. Crump Boulevard be designated as Nat D. Williams Boulevard in honor of his everlasting service and achievement enriching the city of Memphis. Be it here resolved that the city engineer is requested to affix a suitable signs designating this public road effective with the passage of this resolution, given by my hand, Cheyenne Johnson, this day on October the 11th, I believe. Again, I want to say thank you so much for the life of Nat D. Williams. As you noted, his accomplishments were not yesterday. They were back in 1930. And it is just so grand that we can remember those individuals who made such a difference in this city. And it's never too late to say thank you for what you've done. I also want to let the audience know that on October the 27th at 2 o'clock, this signage will be unveiled, and it will be part of a WDIA 75th celebration. So everybody's invited to come out. Again, thank you for letting us share just the history, and some people actually knew Nat D. Williams, but for him being here making a difference. Now, come forward and introduce yourself. I know one's Naomi, and come forward and tell us a little about yourself.
First, I want to say thank you, Councilwoman Johnson. Of course, he has received quite a few accolades throughout the world, but this is very, very special. Not only to the family, but I'm sure to him, wherever he is, safe in the arms of Jesus, I pray. But I want to say, in his words, he loved his city, Memphis. He loved Beale Street, and he adopted these words as his own from W.C. Handy's Memphis Blues, also known as the Beale Street Blues. I'd rather be there than any place I know. Thank you.
Madam Comptroller, will you please show that this item has been approved by acclamation?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have it moved and properly recorded.
Okay. Madam Comptroller, will you please call item 5?
Item number 5 is a resolution honoring the 75th anniversary of WDIA radio station. This resolution is sponsored by the Memphis City Council.
Councilwoman Johnson.
Thank you. I don't know anybody who does not know about WDIA here in Memphis. One way or other, you were introduced to WDIA. And this year, they're going to be celebrating, or are celebrating throughout this whole year, basically, 75 years here in Memphis. And we have a resolution for you. But we're going to do it a little different this time. We're going to allow our chairman, Martavis Jones, to come on air on October the 7th during the morning hours Stan Bell show and actually read this resolution officially to you. But we're so happy that you came down to recognize the fact that we as a city council wanted to say we're so proud of you for what you're doing for the community. You make a difference. What you say, people hear you. Don't ever forget the power of that radio station. And I thank you again. We have with us Tracy Pathay. She was here a few months ago. We acknowledged her. And also we have Mark Stansberg, outstanding radio personality as well, which I'd like to say something. And please promote your 75th anniversary celebration.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
And as I've always known to be said, tell the Lord thank you. tell the Lord thank you. And I would like to especially tell the Lord thank you for the Memphis City Council and especially for Councilwoman Johnson for sponsoring this resolution honoring WDIA, your always goodwill and good time station. WDIA was the first program, African-American station in America.
It is, right.
And Nat D, as they said earlier, was the first. And again, I would just like to tell you all thank you, thank you, thank you. And also here, you heard Councilwoman Johnson say is Tracy Bethay. She has made history herself. She is the first African-American female program director at WDIA. And once again, we tell the Lord thank you for the Memphis City Council. Thank you.
Ms. Bethay, if you would, because Mr. Sansbury was too modest to talk about himself. So will you talk about Mr. Mark Stansberry and his contributions and how he's been such a part of WDIA's history?
Absolutely. Mark Stansberry has been on WDIA for 65 years. That's a long time. And not just on the radio. He gets up and he engages with his audience. Many of you know that there are times that you get up and you're just not feeling some kind of way, but every time he opens that mic up, he's there to lend an encouraging word to a listener, a prayer, a happy birthday, and it has been a blessing to the world for over 65 years. We are so grateful to still have Mark Stansberry on the air on Sundays. Be sure to check him out at 3 p.m. where he can say it loud and proud. Tell the Lord, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bethay.
So we've got a lot of anniversary things that are happening for WDIA, but most importantly, the biggest really is about the renaming of the street that will be a part of the celebration, but also on Friday, October 27th, before the renaming, we're going to bring back legends of WDIA to the radio. They will be a part of the Stan Bell Morning Show, the Bev Johnson Show. You will hear from people that you have probably didn't even know that Pastor Bill Atkins, Apostle Bill Atkins, was the program director one time and on-air personality with Steele and Bill. You can hear him, the Herb the Case, the Mike Jeffrey. So tune in from 6 a.m. until 1 p.m. on Friday, October 27th, and get a good dose. Come on back home, y'all, to the legendary, historic 1070 WDIA.
I only want to make one correction. Mark Stansbury said, thanks, Cheyenne. The entire city council sponsored this resolution, and I want to give everybody their due recognition for that.
Thank you, Councilwoman Johnson.
And I so move.
Okay. Madam Comptroller, will you please show that that item has been approved by acclamation?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And for those that didn't know, at one time, WDIA, where the marker is now, is on Union. But prior to Union, it used to be on Central Avenue, right where there's a dog, a little dog shelter. And so I had a chance when I was a lad to meet Michael Jackson there because my stepdad was Herb Decay that she mentioned, who worked at WDIA. And the small world that it is, there's a gentleman who was one of the program directors back in the early 70s. Fast forward about 25 years, I go back to homecoming and find out that he had gone to Howard. He was an Omega man, just like Barry, just like Mr. Nat D. Williams was. So it was very heartwarming to know the role that WDIA played really in my life, and just didn't know it. So looking forward to celebrating WDIA. Madam Comptroller, will you please call item?
Item number 6 is a resolution approving the appeal of Robert Gordon on behalf of Midtown Memphis.org, seeking to overturn the action of the County Land Use Control Board approving special exception to sections 8.4.9, to allow 4 stories in height at the subject property located at 34, 40, 42, and 48 South McLean Boulevard. This resolution is sponsored by the Division of Planning and Development. It was held from 9/26. The case number is SE 23-01.
Councilwoman Johnson.
Was heard in committee, and it did not receive a favorable recommendation, meaning that the request of the appellant who was appealing the action of the Land Use Control Board was not overturned. So in actuality, at this point, we are supporting the Land Use Control Board, and I so move.
Okay. We so move electronically.
Okay. But there were some discussions, and we do need a presentation of it.
Well, I was about to ask now, do we need the presentation now? Because what we can do, we can go before the floor. It's before the full council now. And it came down with a negative recommendation, meaning that we upheld, or we denied the appellate's appeal of it. Right. So we can go through now and essentially do the same thing and then turn it over to hear the new item.
Okay.
So colleagues, if we follow the recommendation, so we have to move it affirmatively. You moved affirmatively, but a no vote will uphold what we did upstairs. Well, but it's my understanding that there's going to be a substitute. Is there going to be, Ms. White, is there going to be a substitute motion that we would take up?
Josh Whitehead, Birchport Johnson, yes, sir.
Okay. So, so we have to move it in the affirmative. So the motion was made, but to uphold what we did upstairs, we still have to vote no as a body, and then we'll take up the substitute then. Yes.
I have a question for clarity. We got some opposition on that first item. Do we allow that person to speak now, or do we come back?
We do have some cards, but we can either hear it during the substitute or we can hear it now.
He says substitute.
Okay, so we're here doing the substitute. We still will acknowledge those that are here to speak on this item. But a no vote will affirm what we did upstairs. So, Madam Comptroller, will you please prepare the voting screens?
A no vote.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, sir.
One, two.
Okay, yes.
JB, please. I've got that.
I've got it. Was someone asking me? Oh, one moment. Colvett, no. Easter Thomas, no. Ford, no. Johnson, no. Morgan, no. Robinson, no. Vice Chairman Smiley, no. Swearingen Washington, no. Warren, no. Chairman Jones, no. And this item, for the record, was moved by Johnson and seconded by Colvett.
Okay, by Colvett. Okay. So the appeal of this item has been denied. Now we will so Ms. Johnson, we turn it over to you.
Okay, do we need to suspend the rule and add this item? Okay,
yes.
I move that we suspend the rule so that we may address the second item.
Okay, so Madam Comptroller, will you present special item number 1? And if we could have the caption of this. Oh, I'm sorry, yes. Is there any objection to the suspension of the rules? Without objection, the rules have been suspended to hear special item number 1. Councilwoman Johnson.
Can we just read substitution?
Yes, you can read, yes.
A substitute resolution regarding the appeal of Robert Gordon on behalf of Midtown Memphis organizations org seeking to overturn the actions of the Memphis and Shelby County Land Use Control Board, approving special exception to Section 8.4.9 to allow for 4 stories in height at the subject property located at 3440-4248 South McLean Boulevard, known as case number SE 2023-001. May we have a presentation, please? Name and address.
Thank you, Councilwoman Johnson. Josh Whitehead, Birch Porter Johnson, 130 North Court. I believe staff is disseminating a PowerPoint presentation, but I think at least on the right screen, we'll also go through that. I don't want to replicate my presentation from upstairs, but what we're about to see is just some visuals that demonstrate some of the testimony I provided. We are indeed requesting a 75-foot allowance. Next slide. This property is zoned RU4. RU4 is the most intense multifamily zoning that is found anywhere on the ground in Memphis and Shelby County. It is purposely designed to accommodate additional height, additional density, additional units. Under the old 1981 code, it had unlimited height restrictions. Under the UDC, that was lowered to 75 feet. Next slide. With the Midtown overlay, that was further lowered to 3 stories on the particular site. This is the slide with the Midtown overlay map. And if you can see, as staff presented at the Planning and Zoning Committee earlier, we are wedged between several green highlighted properties. Those green highlighted properties are zoned for 10 stories. Next slide. And indeed, many of those sites house 10-story buildings or some, the Gilmore is 8 stories to our north, the Citizen to our south is 8 stories as well. To our west, the Rose Crest, now the Idlewild 45, is 10 stories. Next slide. If approved, our height request would look like this on the east side of McLean between Madison and Union. In other words, it is in compliance with the surroundings. Thank you. Next slide. This is not the first height variance approved to the Midtown overlay. There are 3 properties: the Art Lofts on Poplar at the top of the screen, the Flats at Cooper Young in the bottom right, and Central. Those 2 have been built, and Central Yards, which is in bankruptcy proceedings right now at Central and Cooper. Next slide. When the Midtown overlay was adopted, because that map was so specific with regard to parcels, it allowed additional height to be approved through the special exception process. And UDC section 914.6 articulates what this body is expected to look at when it reviews requests for special exceptions. I'm going to go straight to B. It shall not damage the use, value, or enjoyment of surrounding properties. C. It shall not have an adverse effect on land use compatibility. But back to A, and those 2 are vetted out with the heights of the surrounding buildings. But going back to A, next slide, we look at plans to be considered. Memphis 3.0 is, of course, the ultimate plan in Memphis. And what it allows is for us to look at existing adjacent land uses. I've highlighted that in yellow, which again, we're surrounded by very tall buildings. Next slide. In addition to the Memphis 3.0 plan, there's the Memphis Innovation Corridor plan. Next slide that identifies this area, next slide, as an urban corridor. And finally, next slide, Mr. Chairman, there's been the demolition of the Belvedere Apartments on the right there, the conversion of senior living at the Parkview in the top left and the Glen Mary bottom right to market rate housing. Next slide, we have an individual study and a region-wide market study that reflects, next slide, one more slide, the need for 441 residential units of accommodating seniors in Midtown by the year 2027. And to demonstrate that, I'm about to disseminate letters of approval or letters of support, I should say, from a couple, from about 10 homeowners throughout Memphis. And I'd like to introduce, Mr. Chairman, I believe you have the cards from Ms. Ellie Doonan and Ms. Lillian Dykes. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I'll hand the floor over to them.
Yes, so we have cards from Ms. Lillian Dykes and Ellie Dooner. So Ms. Dykes, will you please state your name and home address for the record? And you have 2 minutes to speak, ma'am.
Thank you so much. I'm so pleased to be here with you. My name is Lillian Dykes. I reside at 2076 Evelyn Avenue in Cooper Young, Memphis, Tennessee, 38104.
Thank you.
And have for 40 years.
Thanks.
I have done 50 years in Cooper Young. I have done 60 years in making Memphis my home. I'm 77 years old, and I've been paying city and county taxes for longer than some of you have been alive. I have made Memphis my home. I have no family here, but I have friends, and I have friends in Cooper Young. Coming to the end of my life, I understand and have had to look into the fact that there are very few places that take seniors for assisted living and then keep us there for when we need extra care. I don't want to be put out on the street. And the fourth story is for those who need medical assistance. I don't want to die in Collierville, and I don't want to die in Bartlett. And the waiting list on the 2 places that are in Memphis, in Midtown, is 2 years. I'm asking, I am begging. It is embarrassing to have to come and say, give me a variance so that I can have coffee at Starbucks for as long as I can walk. And I can go to the drugstore on my own and have lunch at Fino's. I own Midtown, and I am asking that you let me stay here until I die. Thank you.
Ms. Dykes, I'll meet you at Starbucks, okay? Our next speaker is Ms. Dooner. Name and address for the record, please.
I'm Ellie Dooner, and I'm here. I'm 87 years old. Wow. And I am looking for a place to live.
Address for the record, please, Ms. Dooner.
Mr. Chairman and council members.
Address for the record, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, address for your home
My
address.
name
for the
is
record.
Ellie Dooner,
Right, and your home address.
and my address is 3021 Gardens Way, and I live next door
Thank
to this
you.
guy here.
Okay.
And Ed Apple is the one who has purchased the property, and he is a visionary, and I love his idea of having assisted living home for us who want to stay in Midtown. And that's basically why I'm here, to tell you that I really think this is a great idea, and I'm going to be there. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Dooner. And all of us want some of your fountain of youth that you have. Our next card is from Mr. Robert Gordon.
Just to be clear, I'm with the opposition. Are we going?
Yes, so we're allowing everybody
Okay.
Everybody the opportunity to speak.
And also, just to be clear, MidtownMemphis.org supports the fundamental notion of Mr. Apple's project.
Name and address for the record, please.
Robert Gordon, 1594 Harbor.
Okay, thank you.
We just want to see more stories built on a street that all the money that the city council has invested in city planning says do it on this kind of street, and we don't see why you want to do it on a place where the Midtown that we all love is not preserved. The zoning, as we saw, can you give me the number 2 slide, please? We didn't get to talk about the Midtown overlay upstairs, which holds more authority than 3.0. And here is the part where the UDC says that an overlay has more authority than 3.0. And it's important, yes, here, 81C. It's too small to read here. Brett, would you mind going to the next slide, please? Our point is that we know that there's a lot of valuable land in old Memphis. We know that a lot of developers could make a lot of money by tearing it down. We see a value in Memphis for people come here for the history of the city. They want to see, they come here and they admire. They don't come here and say, hey, I can't wait to see Germantown Parkway. What they want to see is Midtown and downtown and the places that have the feel that they know has been associated with the city's achievements in the past. Memphis is special in having preserved that. We've seen Nashville tear down their character, Austin, Atlanta tear down their character. The landmarks board here does wonders for preserving the feel of Memphis and especially of Midtown and historic districts that we all admire. All we're asking is for the city to support, is for the city council to support where you have put your money and where you have put your brain trust. Your money and your brain trust comes back in all the documents and says not to do this. As we saw upstairs, it says one to 3 stories in Midtown, not 4 stories and not 5 stories. And so we're only asking you to say, you invested your money in city planners. City planners gave you documents. All those documents say, don't do this. We all encourage this kind of project on a plot of land where it is designated, where the city's money has said it should be. Poplar, Union, Madison, there's lots of streets with lots of land. We'd love to see that. We recognize the need that this project is going to fill.
Thank you for your comments, Ms. Gordon. I see Councilman Warren in the queue.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to make an amendment to raise the height to 88 feet in case they decide in the future that would be more advantageous because that would add more senior living to the area. Thank you.
Okay, there is a motion and a second to amend item number 1 to allow for 88 feet in height at the subject property located at 34, 40, 42, and 48 South McLean. Is there any objection to that amendment? Okay, so there's an objection to that, so we'll have to take a voice vote on the amendment. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? It is the opinion of the chair that the ayes have it with 1 no vote from Councilwoman Johnson. Are there any other members to speak on this item? Seeing none, I'll just make some general comments. I would just say that this is the process that has been approved by the council. We do have an overriding document being Memphis 3.0. We have the Land Use Control Board. But I would say that there are procedures in place that allow for this council to make any type of determination that may be different than that. So, it's refreshing to know, and I hope this community knows that the appeals process is in place for instances like this, but you always have the opportunity to appeal before the elected bodies of the city of Memphis. So, seeing no other members in the queue to speak on this item, can we prepare the voting screens as amended for this item? Yes.
Canali, yes. Colvett, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Johnson, yes. Morgan, yes. Robinson, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Jones, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, will you please call our consent agenda?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That will take us to item number 8, where we have general ordinances up for first reading. A referendum ordinance to amend pursuant to Article 9, Section 9 of the Constitution of the State of Tennessee Home Rule Amendment, provisions of the Charter of the City of Memphis, the same being Chapter 11 of the Acts of 1879 as amended, relative to partisan elections for the offices of the mayor and city council members, and to repeal all provisions of the city's charter inconsistent with this amendment. Up for first reading, ordinance number 5883 is sponsored by Chairman Jones. Item number 9 is a referendum ordinance to amend pursuant to Article 9, Section 9 of the Constitution of the State of Tennessee Home Rule Amendment, provisions of the Charter of the City of Memphis, the same being Chapter 11 of the Acts of 1879 as amended, relative to application of city charter referendum ordinance number 1794 to city municipal elections. Up for first reading, ordinance number 5884 is sponsored by council members Smiley, Johnson, Logan, and Warren. Item number 10 is an ordinance to create a police advisory and review committee. Up for first reading, ordinance number 5885 is sponsored by the administration. Item number 11 is up for second reading. The ordinance number is 5882 and it is sponsored by the administration. Item number 12 is a zoning ordinance up for first reading, amending ordinance number 5367 of the Code of Ordinances, City of Memphis, Tennessee, adopted on August 10th, 2010, as amended, known as the Memphis and Shelby County Unified Development Code, to authorize a zoning use district reclassification for land located on the south side of Cornell Street between Phelps Station Road and Thomas Street by taking the land out of the residential urban use district and including it in the heavy industrial use district. Up for first reading, this ordinance is sponsored by the Division of Planning and Development. That case number is Z23-11. The ordinance number is 5886. Mr. Chairman, that concludes our consent agenda items.
Thank you. We have a motion to approve our consent agenda made by Warren, seconded by Robinson, but we have Councilwoman Johnson in the queue. Councilwoman Johnson, you're recognized.
Do we actually?
Microphone, please.
I'm asking for clarification on item number 10. Do we actually hear that in committee?
Last week.
I missed it. I must have stepped out. Because I know it was there for today. I don't think we heard it.
No, right. It was in committee last week.
Okay.
Introduced in committee last week.
Thank you.
Okay. Seeing no other members in the queue to speak on this item, Madam Comptroller, will you please prepare the voting screen?
Canale, yes. Colvett, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Johnson, yes. Morgan, yes. Robinson, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Jones, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, will you please call our fiscal consent agenda?
Thank you. That would take us to item number 13, resolution allowing the City of Memphis through the Division of Police Services to accept grant funds in the amount of $5,805,282 from the State of Tennessee Office of Criminal Justice Programs for the FY 2024 Violent Crime Intervention Fund, Hotspot Grant. All council districts. This resolution is sponsored by Police Services, and there is a request for same-night minutes.
Okay. Our fiscal consent agenda item number 13 has been moved by Robinson, seconded by Canale. Seeing no members in the queue to speak on this item, Madam Comptroller, will you please prepare the voting screen?
Canale, yes. Colvett, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Johnson, yes. Morgan, yes. Robinson, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Jones, yes.
That item passes. Councilwoman Easter Thomas, you're recognized. I'm sorry for overlooking you on the previous item.
Thank you, Chair.
Microphone, please.
My bad. Thank you, Chair. Yes, I had put on the request to speak for the consent agenda. I know there were some community members here to speak to item number 12 on the consent agenda, but you gavelled out before we get out of there. So.
Okay, well, what we can do to hear those, well, typically, because that was up for
I know
first
because
reading,
it was up for first reading, but since they
we can have it
made
during
the
general
time
comments.
Okay.
This should be a pretty short meeting, so we'll have those items during. So if you haven't picked up a card yet already, if you could fill out a card with the Sergeant at Arms so we can recognize you during the general comment section.
Thank you, Chair. I think
you.
they did. Thank you.
Madam Comptroller, will you please call our MLGW fiscal consent agenda?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item number 14 is a resolution approving change number 3 to contract number 12267 with Micro Focus license renewal with Thomas Consultants Incorporated in the funded amount of $448,095.90. Item number 15 is a resolution approving change number 5 to contract number 12034, environmental abatement services with Northwest Contracting Services Incorporated in the funded amount of $1,250,000. Item number 16 is a resolution approving change number 3 to contract number 12348 with temporary employment services for skilled craftsman technical with Resource Management Group to ratify and increase the current contract value in the funded amount of $1,100,000. Item number 17 is a resolution approving change number 3 to contract number 12103, Workers' Compensation Stop Loss Brokering with Willis of Tennessee, Inc., in the funded amount of $360,481. Mr. Chairman, that concludes our MLGW fiscal consent items.
Thank you. Our MLGW fiscal consent agenda has been moved by Councilwoman Robinson, seconded by Councilwoman Swearingen Washington. Seeing no members in the queue to speak on this item, Madam Comptroller, will you please prepare the voting screen?
Canale, yes. Colvett, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Johnson, yes. Morgan, yes. Robinson, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Jones, yes.
That item passes. I have a comment card from Ms. Swain, but because it wasn't related to a particular item on the MLGW fiscal consent agenda, we'll hear it during our general comments. Madam Comptroller, will you please call item 33?
Item number 33 on our add-ons is a resolution accepting $350 million state grant for sports facility improvements. All council districts. This resolution is sponsored by the administration, and there's a request for same night minutes.
Okay. Councilman Carlisle isn't here, but this item was heard in Budget Committee, received a favorable recommendation, and I see that Councilwoman Johnson has moved. Councilman Canale has seconded. So seeing no members in the queue to speak on this item, Madam Comptroller, will you please prepare the voting screens?
Canale, yes. Colvett, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Johnson, yes. Morgan, yes. Robinson, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Jones, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, will you please call item 18?
Thank you. That will take us to our regular agenda under appointments. To the Health, Education, and Housing Facility Board, we have Cliff Henderson and Katie Schatz.
Councilwoman Easter Thomas.
Chair, the committee recommends approval, and I so move.
Okay, that item has been, and if you would do so electronically, please. Thank you. Item number 18 has been moved by Councilwoman Easter Thomas, seconded by Councilman Warren. Seeing no members in the queue to speak on this item, Madam Comptroller, will you please prepare the screen for voting?
Canale, yes. Colbert, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Johnson, yes. Morgan, yes. Robinson, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Jones, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, will you please call item 21?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item number 21 is a resolution to appropriate funds in the amount of $400,000 in other project cost to implement the FY24 Urban Art Plan, CIP project number EN 24301, Districts 4 and 5, Super District 9. This resolution is sponsored by the Division of Engineering.
I don't see Vice Chair Smiley here, but okay. This item has been moved by Councilwoman Johnson, seconded by Councilwoman Swearingen Washington. Seeing no members in the queue to speak on this item, Madam Comptroller, will you please prepare the voting screen?
Canale, yes. Colbert, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Johnson, yes. Morgan, yes. Robinson, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Jones, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, will you please call item 22?
Item number 22 is a resolution to transfer and appropriate construction funds in the amount of $150,000 for sidewalk improvements at North Lake Apartments, project number EN01116, District 1, Super District 9. This resolution is sponsored by the Division of Engineering.
Vice Chair Smiley. Okay, that item, number 22, has been moved by Vice Chair Smiley, seconded by Councilwoman Swearingen Washington. Seeing no members in the queue to speak on this item, Madam Comptroller, will you please prepare the voting screen?
Canale, yes. Colbert, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Johnson, yes. Robinson, yes. Vice Chairman Smiley, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Jones, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, will you please call item 23?
Item number 23 is a resolution appropriating funds in the amount of $153 million, $153,000 for CIP project number FS02032, EMA Sirens, all council districts. This resolution is sponsored by Fire Services.
It's going to be quick. Vice Chair Smiley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The committee may recommend approval. I so move.
Okay. That item, number 23, has been moved by Vice Chair Smiley, seconded by Councilman Warren. Seeing no members in the queue to speak on this item, Madam Comptroller, will you please prepare the voting screen?
Canale, yes. Colbert, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Johnson, yes. Robinson, yes. Vice Chairman Smiley, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Jones, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, will you please call item 24?
Item number 24 is a resolution appropriating FY24 allocations in the amount of $2 million for CIP project number GS01049, Coke Adaptive Reuse, District 4, Super District 8. This resolution is sponsored by General Services.
Thank you. Councilman Warren.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Committee met, recommend approval, and I so move.
Okay. Item number 24 has been moved by Councilman Warren, seconded by Councilman Colvett. Seeing no members in the queue to speak on this item, Madam Comptroller, will you please prepare the voting screen?
Canale, yes. Colbert, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Johnson, yes. Robinson, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Jones, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, will you please call item 25?
Item number 25 is a resolution appropriating FY24 funds in the amount of $2 million for project number GS 22202, City Hall Improvements, District 7, Super District 8. This resolution is sponsored by General Services.
Thank you. Councilman Covett. Oh, I'm sorry, Councilman Warren.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Committee met, recommended approval, and I so move.
Okay, that item has been moved by Councilman Warren, seconded by Councilwoman Robinson. Seeing no members in the queue to speak at this item, Madam Comptroller, will you please prepare the voting screen?
You need some napkins here. Here we go.
Canale, yes. Colbert, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Johnson, yes. Robinson, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Jones, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, will you please call item 26?
Item number 26 is a resolution to appropriate funds in the amount of $8 million for Police Services CIP project number PD 02016, New Mount Moriah Station, District 4, Super District 8. This resolution is sponsored by Police Services.
Councilman Covett.
Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The committee met, recommends approval, and I so move.
Okay, item number 26 has been moved by Councilman Covett, seconded by Councilman Warren. Seeing no members in the queue to speak on this item, Madam Comptroller, will you please prepare the voting screen?
Canale, yes. Colbert, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Johnson, yes. Robinson, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Jones, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, will you please call item 27?
Item number 27 is a resolution to appropriate funds in the amount of $1 million for the Police Services CIP project number PD 04022, in-car video, all council districts. This resolution is sponsored by Police Services.
Councilman Covett.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Committee met, recommends approval, and I so move.
Okay, that item has been moved by Councilman Covett, seconded by Councilman Warren. Seeing no members in the queue to speak on this item, Madam Comptroller, will you please prepare the voting screen?
Canale, yes. Colbert, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Johnson, yes. Morgan, yes. Robinson, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Jones, no.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, will you please call item 28?
Item number 28 is a resolution to appropriate funds in the amount of $1,500,000 for the City of Memphis Police Services CIP project number PD 02013, Police Academy renovation, District 7, Super District 8. This resolution is sponsored by Police Services.
Thank you. Councilman Covett.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Committee met, recommends approval, and I so move.
Thank you. That item has been moved by Councilman Covett, seconded by Councilman Warren. Seeing no members in the queue to speak on this item, Madam Comptroller, will you please prepare the voting screen? Thank you, sir.
Canale, yes. Colbert, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Morgan, yes. Robinson, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Jones, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, will you please call item 29?
Item number 29 is a resolution to appropriate funds in the amount of $8 million for police services, CIP project number PD 04031, Axon Enterprise Solution, all council districts. This resolution is sponsored by Police Services.
Thank you. Councilman Covett.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Committee met recommends approval, and I so move.
Oh, I'm sorry. That item has been moved by Councilman Covett, seconded by Councilman Warren. Seeing no members in the queue to speak on this item, Madam Comptroller, will you please prepare the voting screen? Okay, cool, thanks.
Canali, yes. Colvett, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Morgan, yes. Robinson, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Jones, no.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, will you please call item 30?
Item number 30 is a resolution to transfer and appropriate construction funds in the amount of $92,692 to fund installation of stormwater improvements associated with the Accelerate Memphis project located at East Shelby Drive and Tullahoma Road in Oak Haven. Accelerate Memphis, Oak Haven, project number ST02024, Districts 3 and 6, Super District 8. This resolution is sponsored by the Division of Public Works.
Thank you. Councilman Warren.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Committee met, recommend approval, and I so move.
Okay, that item has been moved by Councilman Warren, seconded by Councilwoman Swearingen Washington. Seeing no members in the queue to speak on this item, Madam Comptroller, will you please prepare the voting screen?
Canali, yes. Colvett, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Morgan, yes. Robinson, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Jones, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, will you please call item 31?
Item number 31 is a resolution to transfer and appropriate construction funds in the amount of $143,432 to fund installation of stormwater improvements associated with the Accelerate Memphis project located on Valentine Avenue in Klondike. Accelerate Memphis, Klondike. Project number ST03205, District 7, Super District 8. This resolution is sponsored by the Division of Public Works.
Thank you. Councilman Warren.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Committee met, recommended approval, and I so move.
Okay, item number 31 has been moved by Councilman Warren, seconded by Councilwoman Easter Thomas. Seeing no members in the queue to speak on this item, Madam Comptroller, will you please prepare the voting screen?
Canali, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Morgan, yes. Robinson, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Jones, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, will you please call item 32?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Number 32 is a resolution to transfer and appropriate construction funds in the amount of $771,004.86 to fund installation of stormwater improvements associated with the Accelerate Memphis project located on Park Avenue in Orange Mound. Accelerate Memphis project number ST03205, District 4, Super District 8. This resolution is sponsored by the Division of Public Works.
Thank you. Councilman Warren.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Committee met, recommended approval, and I so move.
Okay, that item has been moved by Councilman Warren, seconded by Councilwoman Swearingen Washington. Seeing no members in the queue to speak on this item, Madam Comptroller, will you please prepare the voting screen?
Canali, yes. Colvett, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Morgan, yes. Robinson, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Jones, yes.
That item passes. That brings us to our same night minutes. Councilwoman Swearingen Washington, will you please read our same night minutes into the record?
Yes, sir. After the meeting was open for transaction of business, a quorum was declared present. The council considered the items on the agenda, including items number 13 and number 33.
Okay, will you please move it electronically, please? Okay, our same night minutes have been moved by Councilwoman Swearingen Washington, seconded by Councilman Warren. Seeing no members in the queue to speak on this item, Madam Comptroller, will you please prepare the voting screen?
Canali, yes. Colette, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Morgan, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Jones, yes.
That item passes. That brings us to our comment cards. We have about 6 comment cards here. Our first comment card is from Kamiko Swain. If you come to the mic, you have 2 minutes to speak. Please provide your name and home address for the record. 2.
My name is Kamiko Swain. My address is 5119 Breckenridge
No,
Drive.
you come up a little bit closer, yes.
5119 Breckenridge Drive, Memphis, Tennessee, 38127.
Okay.
The reason I came up here because of this highlight bill. Y'all have, Memphis Light Gas and Water has this program, meter. It's an automated charge you a light bill for the next. They have an estimate already programmed. And I also have proof of that as well. The lights was out on the 21st of September, and I actually still got billed for that date. And I know for a fact the lights was out. And when I went down there to confine them and tell them they overcharging on these light bills, I get no answer. These meters that they have on these houses is having light bills overwhelming. My light bill a day is $30 and $40 a day. I can't even afford to buy my kids clothes. Every day I gotta get out and hustle and try to pay a high light bill where I have nothing else left. And I know for a fact this light bill that they are using, these meters that they are using is programmed. The same amount of usage of energy is used in the house faithfully every month. They put a calculation, dynamic numbers on here of metrics that they want to use to charge us. So how can a program be out here to give us more in greatness if our light bills are getting more higher? Then the same house that was $10,000 in North Haven is the same house that's $100,000. The same rotten wood, the same grass, and the same ground. We don't have a chance, and even in our youth, we don't have a chance of prospering because of high bills that constantly goes up. I hear y'all saying that everybody got proof for all these millions, thousands. I wake up 4 years ago, I can heal people with my mind, literally, and I can prove it right now. And the point what I'm saying is it has to be adjustment on those bills, especially Memphis Light Gas. Everybody call Memphis Light Gas and robbers now. They robbing people without even a gun. And I got proof of that too. The meters that they have on our houses is not in format of calculating great usage of matter. What it is doing is calculating and assuming or use just like a cell phone. If you put a word up in there, when you go to type that word back again.
Ms. White, your 2 minutes has expired, but please know that we asked questions of MLGW this morning and earlier today in our committee meeting. And I hate that Mr. McGowan has left, but I'll have someone that's with the council staff to get your contact information. She has your contact information. And so we'll have someone to be in touch with you.
So what do I wait for somebody to contact me now? I mean, how does it feel?
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. Oh, Councilwoman Easter Thomas. I'm looking all over. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Chair. Ms. Swain, we're gonna get your information, one, to get you some assistance with that bill. I'm dealing with bill issues too. My bill like $1,800, so it's yeah, exactly. So we're gonna get you some assistance with that bill, but then also, like Chairman Jones said, we are constantly asking the same questions about making sure that the meters are getting corrected. They did give us a timeline up to the end of the year, is what they told us this morning, but that still doesn't mean right, your issues are still there, but we can definitely get you some bill assistance. So we have your information, what you filled out on the card. Ms. Johnson, we're gonna get your number for you so we can make sure we help you with it. Yes, ma'am.
Our next speaker card is from Pastor Ricky Varner. Ms. Varner, name and address in 2 minutes, please.
My name is Ricky Eugene Varner. My address is 3335 Powell Avenue. This is to directly respond to the construction in the Highland Heights Urban Art Plan. What they have done is closed our streets off. I've worked with inner city youth here for several years through Memphis International Church. Also, I have the most diversified global ministry on Facebook, working with over 900 ministries around the planet. I have friends here at the Shelby County Sheriff's Department, which I was sworn in August, May, 33 years ago. These minutes that they have closed off our neighborhood to by running their bicycle trail down the middle of National. I've spoken with 5 ambulance drivers, and in the last 9 months, they stated that 6 of the deaths in that area, if they would have had 5 more minutes, they might could have saved their life. They have cut off Powell, Coleman, Lanphier, several of the streets. I'm noticing in the votes how certain things are being allotted. I would like a resolution to be put on the floor to halt the cutting off of those streets, reopening those back up. We're not against the urban art plan, the neighborhood between National and Holmes, which is adjacent to the Mitchell Heights area. All we're asking is that we have the same right to our emergency services as the rest of Memphis. It's not going to hurt the construction any. We just need the funds allotted so we can have our cross streets. Because for a fire truck or ambulance to go down 5 more streets, have you ever tried to turn a fire truck around on National Avenue? You know, it's not that easy. That 3 to 5 minutes could save a life. And as far as I'm concerned, that's what we're about, is saving lives.
Indeed.
And I just think that a resolution needs to be made and the funds allotted, because they're cutting the streets off. We have approximately 130 to 150 signatures where the neighborhood there did not agree with cutting the streets off. The urban art plan, the flyers that were sent out, not everyone got those.
Okay.
After reading over that, it's vague. It doesn't give the construction details and all that.
Okay. Ms. Varner, we got the gist of your concern. Okay. So thank you for your comments this afternoon. Thank you. Our next comment card is from Mr. Matthew Houston.
Hello.
Hello, sir. Name and address for the record, please.
I'm Matthew Houston. I own 3330 Lanphier, and I own 3327 Henry, 38122. I'm here to talk to y'all again about this project that Mr. Ricky was just talking to y'all about, how the Heights CDC declared that we had all agreed to it. It had never actually talked to us. I told y'all again last time that they don't have community meetings. They refuse to communicate, as we have communication issues where I was told I'd hear back from certain individuals, and I've not heard back, which is why I'm standing here right now. The fact is that we never agreed to cut off intersections. We never decided that we wanted to have a possible hobo encampment on National Street. We do have an issue where there's all sorts of people that have nothing to do, and they just hang out in the neighborhood, so they just wander and commit crimes. The police don't do anything about it, and we're just stuck in a dystopian wasteland because nothing happens. Y'all are doing stuff about the stormwater improvements, but we actually live at Workman's Bayou rainwater ditch, which is an ancient ditch from old Poe plantation times that y'all have never actually upgraded. It's only supported by some pumping type station over in the Douglas area. And there's all sorts of stray dogs running through there and criminals that run back and forth. And it seems that y'all did 2 of those stormwater improvements, and y'all don't care about our neighborhood, but y'all want to run a bicycle lane straight through us that goes all the way to Raleigh that possibly takes you to Cooper Young, where we don't have time for that. There's all sorts of people that I talked to with Jose and Mr. Ricky that they can't come and talk to y'all. They're too busy working. And when y'all sent the construction crew to work out there at night instead of working in the day so we can't protest them anymore, they're keeping us up at night so we can't sleep and go to work in the morning and actually have sound minds while we're working. It shows that no one cares about our well-being. And the only reason why y'all are building these high-rises is because y'all intend to bulldoze our houses and send us into these apartments that we do not want to live in. We want to live in small houses on small lots, and we want to own them. We want to pass them on to our families. And at the current track that we're on right now, we have no chance of being Memphians and actually having our properties because too many out-of-town slumlords get to go as they please. We need a slumlord registry. They should pay higher taxes. It's unfair how much we struggle, and we have nothing to show for it.
Ms. Houston, thank you for your comments. Our next comment card is from Mr. Jose Romero.
My name is Jose Romero. I live on 3377 Powell Avenue, Memphis, Tennessee, 38122. I'm not an English native speaker, but I'm not trying to be, explain myself. I'm not trying to explain myself. I'm here for the same situation as Matthew and Ricky. I met them right there on a protest when we was talking about the enclosure of the streets on National Street. And we spoke earlier with the Consul Canali, and I tried to get in touch with Ward Morgan, which I don't have a resolution yet, with Mr. Carlo. And I would like to bring your attention, all of you, because I think all the consuls right here voted for the same project, you know? So, and actually we're trying to get your help to help us to stop the enclosure of streets, because our main concern is about the emergency services and also about our kids who walks alone to go to the Treadwell School, and they have to cross National Street. So now it's more difficult for them to do it, especially on a construction site now. And the main thing right here is like most of the community right there is a Hispanic community. We are homeowners, and we pay taxes, property taxes, and we pay wheel tax too. And I think we have the right to express ourselves. And also, I got 165 signatures right here from the people who lives close to the National Street. And we're not against the project. It could be a nice project, but we are against the enclosure of the streets. So if you can help us, please. I really gonna appreciate it, because we really need the help, because we feel like the Latino people doesn't care about, the city doesn't care about them, you know? So, and I hope I can help you help, and thanks for hearing me.
Thank you, Mr. Romero. Our next comment card is from Marvis Rogers. Name and address for the record, please, Ms. Rogers.
Marvis Rogers. My address is 3059 Victoria Park, Cove, Memphis, 38127. And I'd just like to speak on item number 12, whereby Marcino Pegram, David Bray, and Bray Firm are asking for rezoning to what they say they want to do is a truck park business. We were thinking at first it might have been a truck stop, but they say it won't be that. But the location that they have is adjacent to a storage company, storage, and I know personally that that storage place, I had my items stored there, and the break-ins were very frequent. I had to move to another storage. My point is, this area that they want to do the trucking business is adjacent to the storage facility, and it's adjacent to a neighborhood. The neighborhood is a high crime area, and we think that a truck stop that could turn out to be, a truck. They say they just want to park trucks there. They don't differentiate it. So what kind of trucks they're going to do? So we're afraid this could turn out to be big trucks in the area, storing trucks there, and it would encourage greater crime because we already have a high crime area. And everybody knows the crime rate is high in Frazier. So there are great things happening in Frazier as far as revitalization. And the paradox is we're up on one end with the revitalization, and the crime is steady increasing on the other end. So we are here to say that we don't think it would be a good idea to have that kind of business in the area. We already had the issue in the past of them wanting to do a park, RV park, I guess. And so I think we got through that. But we don't want to introduce anything that would bring any more crime to the area.
Thank you for your comments. Our next comment card is from Vera Harmon.
Hello, Council. Can you hear me through this mask?
Yes, ma'am, we can. Name and address for the record,
My
please.
name is Vera Harmon. My address is 3887 Belt Station Road, 38127. Number 12 is what I am concerned about as well. That property, the back of that property sits at the back of Todd Creek Apartments. As the lady before me, she spoke and said that we had been to a meeting. It was told to us that that property would be a truck stop, that semi-trucks would detach the box part and be able to park and sleep in there. That is not suitable for a residential area to us. Also, you have children, you have grown folks, you have little boys. We know the character and the reputation that a truck stop carries, especially when you're sleeping there. So we do not want that in our area. And I hope and pray that you do not allow that to pass, because that will bring many predators, more crime. One thing about it, I've been in Frazier 20-some years. I love Frazier, and I do not want to see it with that type of environment. One thing for sure, we all know that crime is everywhere, but some things are avoidable. And for sure, that's the one thing we are totally against. I have grandbabies right now that I have to be outside and watch them 24/7. And with that type of environment, you got kids that stand out and catch the bus. All parents are not stay-at-home parents. Some kids have to come and go to school by themselves. We don't have a bus stop in our area, and we have to walk. My time is up.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your comments. Next comment card is from Anna Brown.
Good evening. My name is Anora Brown.
I'm sorry for the mispronunciation.
I beg your pardon?
I said I'm sorry for the mispronunciation.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay.
Everybody mispronounces. That's okay. It's Anora Brown. I live at 4589 Sunnybrook. I am a resident of Frazier. I've been there in Frazier for 30 years or more. And I am totally 100% against them turning this into a high rezoning this from a residential area where it's going to be, my understanding of what it will be rezoned to. I mean, anything can be in there, can be in that area. And the residents that's living back to that, they're gonna be subject to whatever that's put there. And this zone, my understanding of what this zone means, it can even be a dump there. We already got a dump in Fraser. And we don't need no more. We don't need that type of thing in Fraser. Fraser is on the up. Fraser is positive things that's already going on in Fraser, which all of you already know the different things that's coming out of Fraser. And we are trying to continue to push forward, changing this area into this is wrong. We do not want this. And we truly appreciate that if you all would listen to the residents, what we want. I mean, it seems like everything that's negative, you bring it to Fraser. You allow people to come into Fraser with it. The residents around there, you have a group home that's going to be right across the street. You have an area there that help homeless people that's right across the street from there. And whatever they're going to do, whether it be a truck stop or whatever, or either put another dump there or put a car lot there, that's not suitable for that area right there. It is not suitable for Fraser. And yes, Ms. Smiley, I'm going to hurry up and sit down. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. Next comment card is from the one and only Walter Brody. Oh, he had to leave. Okay.
Motion adjourned.
Yeah. Hold on. Okay. So Mr. Brody said that he will be at a revival on the 12th. Oh, at Liberty Park. Okay. So thank you, Mr. Brody. If you can hear us, if you're tuning in. Those are our comment cards, colleagues. I will entertain a motion. I'm sorry, wait. Mr. Covett.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I apologize. I almost missed this. This is October. This is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I want to congratulate the chairman, several of our colleagues wearing their pink today. Close, Mr. Smiley. But hey, guys, next meeting, let's blow the place out. Everybody wears pink, okay?
Sounds good.
Right. Thank y'all.
I'm listening.
Move to adjourn.